The F1 season is upon us. The Bahrain preseason testing is underway and F1 fans are keenly watching to see what their team offers. News from most camps has been positive, with Ferrari fans, according to reports, having the most to look forward to. Some have described the new Ferrari design elements as a genius move, but one design feature has landed them in trouble, and the biggest question is why they have done it. Stick around to find out what part of the Ferrari car has caused an uproar and what Ted Kravits thinks Ferrari is pinning all their hopes on. Ferrari has made it no secret that they started developing their 2023 car early after realizing that the championship was lost to Red Bull. The team revealed their 2023 car to much fanfare and did not disappoint, with their display of the new car being a breath of fresh air amongst the otherwise dull car reveals. Ferrari suffered an infuriating 2022 season, with early season optimism turning into end-of-season despair as the team shifted focus to 2023 in the hopes of winning the title then. Now, several key issues let Ferrari down, with strategy being one and engine reliability being another. Car design has always been a critical player in F1, with aerodynamics being crucial to a team's success and even more important in 2023 due to F1 teams being in an engine freeze, meaning that no performance-based changes can be made to the engine. Still, reliability changes can be made, with the former Ferrari team principal having this to say about how important the car is in F1. To win, you always need the best car. The driver makes the difference for the last 2/10 on the track, said Binotto. Well, according to reports, Ferrari has found an extra 30 horsepower in the off-season. Though Vassar has since rubbished these reports, the team boss did have this to say about Ferrari's upcoming season. "You know the regulation is crystal clear, that the engine is almost frozen, that we just can't change something other than a reliability topic. Last year, it's not a secret that it was not the best aspect of the engine, but we did a good job at the factory, and I think that now we are ready for the season. I think that last year that the window for the engine was very small, and let's see what happens this season, but I think we're in a good place," Vassar said at the launch of the SF23. If you are a Ferrari fan, you are thinking, could this finally be our year? While the more pessimistic fans believe we have seen this all before, will wait until the end of the season before they get excited. Well, at least until the summer break. Now, the engine is not the only point Ferrari has looked to improve on, with several design features also being attributed to trying to improve the car, some being easy to the naked eye to spot and others being more subtle. Reports from Italy suggest that Ferrari even considered the zero-pod concept that Mercedes ran in 2022. Still, Ferrari's top technicians deemed it less effective and more complex to understand and develop. However, two other design features have raised eyebrows, with one being allowed under new regulations, but the other not so much. Let's take a look at it. One change that got Twitter and the news in an uproar was the new front wing, with many Mercedes fans taking particular interest in the design of the Ferrari's wing, as it resembled a very similar design that they tried to implement in 2022, which got quickly shut down by opposition teams and didn't even make it to the track. The front wing, however, is allowed this season, with a slight tweak to the wording of the regulation making. This change is permitted under the rules, and Mercedes has also tweaked their front wing to take advantage of this new change in wording. And Ferrari's S-duct design is the second feature causing a stir on Twitter and among the teams, as it is somewhat different from the rest of the field. The S-duct concept is an innovative aerodynamic trick to reduce the impact of turbulent air, creating a swinging air passage in the Ferrari chassis that moves air from the bottom of the car to the upper part of the side. This cools the engine and improves aerodynamics. Ferrari has tweaked the S-duct concept to create better airflow to the rear of the car low down and at the rear wing. Ferrari's S-duct is complex and can't be replicated by the other teams because it's integrated with the whole car, as it's directly connected with the design of the chassis and various other internal aspects, therefore not built in isolation from the car. According to the Italian publication Formula 1 A1, the S-duct has been the subject of contention among rival teams. The FIA has reportedly been asked to clarify the legality of the innovation ahead of the upcoming 2023 season, But why would the teams want the FIA to clarify Ferrari's new design? As we are right at the beginning of the season, it's not unusual for teams to push the boundaries in F1, and this change may be a stroke of genius by Ferrari, as according to the team, the wind tunnel reporting has been good and the team is a second faster. The other reason for this design change could be the notorious reliability of the Ferrari engine, with any chance to cool the engine being welcomed with open arms. Requests about the legality of changes are not uncommon, as teams often attempt to find loopholes in the technical rules, though Ferrari is said to be certain that the solutions adopted on the SF23 are fully within the rules. A request for clarification doesn't have to mean anything. The result may be that the FIA determines the part in question is within the rules. The other is the FIA deems it illegal. A recent example is Mercedes' 2022 front wing. The FIA and Ferrari have not yet publicly commented on the situation. In all likelihood, Ferrari will run the test days in Bahrain this week with the current design. Should the FIA indeed rule that the part is not within the rules, Ferrari will have to develop a new design, which has thus been given reduced testing time. If you are Ferrari, do you risk it, or are you that confident that you are within the rules and you go with it? It will be interesting to see what happens. There is great optimism for Ferrari, with Sainz saying this about the car: "I will tell you honestly that an F1 car does not move in the driver's direction. An F1 car is developed to go faster. My job as a driver is to look for places that are weak. I then give feedback, just like Charles Leclerc. I am optimistic and hope that this year things will be a bit faster. During the difficult moments, I managed to adapt and made it. A bit slower than I would have liked, but I adapted. I am sure I can go on again and have a good start," said Sainz. Some would argue that a good driver could adapt to any car, but that is not always the case. Look at Lewis Hamilton, he could not get the W13 to work for him, with the seven-time champion struggling to get to grips with the Mercedes car. Furthermore, with Vassar saying that there will be no number one driver at Ferrari, this could be the season that we see Carlos Sainz shine and potentially add to his maiden P1 that he got in 2022. Both drivers are expected to get exactly the same equipment. Sky Sports presenter Ted Kravits believes Ferrari is in with a shot, saying this about the Scuderia title hopes: "I've got high hopes for Ferrari. I think they can be up there and sustaining a championship challenge for Red Bull all season long. I'd like to think it's going to be very tight. It's going to go down to the last race between what eventually will be Charles Leclerc potentially and Max Verstappen. I don't think it will, but something interesting I think is that we do have the new boss, Fred Vassar," Kravits said on Sky Sports. Ted further highlighted what he thinks Ferrari is pinning all their hopes on, with the presenter of Ted's Notebook saying that this is both a blessing and a curse for Ferrari. "I think they are relying on their perfection of the power unit from last year and pinning their hopes on that. Now that's fine as long as their testing work over the winter on the dyno actually proves that they've got on top of the reliability issues of 2022. But if they haven't got the car or anything particularly outrageous or adventurous to rely on back there," said Kravits. What do you think? Will Ferrari get away with their S-Duct design? Comment below.